All right, a very good evening to everyone. Thank you so much for your patience. Thank you for joining in and waiting. I know that we're supposed to start by 7 p.m., but technical issues here and there. But we are here now. I'm sure a lot of persons have not met me before. My name is Chinatu Oji, and I work here too. So I think I'll just have to hand over to Mr. Tefa to just take it from there. And before I do that, I just like to let us know that we couldn't hold the session on Saturday because we had an official assignment, but we are here now. So, Mr. Tefa, it's over to you. Thank you.
Uh, thank you.
I don't know if you got me. Hello, Mr. Tefa.
Yes, I'm
Yeah,
here.
it's over to you now.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Um, Welcome to another session of this training. The training couldn't hold on Saturday because of the funeral uh, service. Like I posted on the WhatsApp group or platform, today our session will focus on television news, research, and specialized reporting. Research is very important in the new production process because it it helps a reporter to get enough information. It helps a reporter to verify information. It helps a reporter to put the necessary things in place in preparation for the news that they might intend to report. Research exposes reporters to comprehensive information that is needed to prepare their news of their stories. Research is in the pre-production process. In one of our sessions, I talked about the production process, news production process, where I made mention of the pre-production, production, and post-production. In the pre-production, I talked about the activities that take place before news production is done. And research is part of the pre-production process. Without research, it would have been extremely impossible for media organizations or media houses to operate effectively and keep to ethical conduct and abide by the media law governing media activities in Nigeria by the National Broadcasting Commission. So research brings a lot to the reporter to be able to understand, apart from the content development of the story. It also helps to see if certain ethical and legal aspects of reporting are not breached. So research is very essential in not just television news reporting, but all the media platforms in the media set up. Television news research is very unique. When I was talking about other in other sessions when I talked about the importance of television among the media platforms. I made mention of the audiovisual characteristics or component, the audiovisual characteristic and the component of the television, the component of television media platform that deals with the audiovisual display. It deals with the motion pictures and the audio, that is the sound of objects or subjects. So television is extremely unique because what people see and hear, they believe easily than what they only read and what they only see. But when it comes to seeing and hearing, it makes it more believable because in television, you can see the subject talking, the person that the story is focused on talking, expressing their feelings, and from there, it will be more understood than in the print media where certain things are written. Audiences might doubt the credibility or authenticity of certain reports in the newspaper or other print media platforms because they may feel it can be distorted, or maybe what the person said is not exactly what is being written or printed out. Maybe the speech was distorted, or a lot of things were being changed to favor the opinion of the media house or maybe the reporter. So some persons, when they read certain things on the print media, they begin to look for other sources to verify, to confirm if actually what they read from the newspaper or other print media platforms, what they saw is correct. So they would want to verify. And once television brings that to their knowledge, they would actually go with that. When you say that President Tinubu or a prominent Nigerian said something in a particular event that is being written and maybe pictures taken, there's some group of audiences that don't just believe in certain things. They want to go to an extent to believe the story. So once television presents, television media organizations present the report and the audiences see the person that is being focused talking and then acting and then some cutaway shots of the action being presented, they will believe that more than what they earlier heard about the situation or incident. That is the power of television. So in conducting research for television news, the reporter must be sensitive, must be extremely careful because certain errors made on TV cannot be easily corrected or you cannot just erase that from the minds of the audiences. So it is paramount that reporters conduct their research appropriately. For instance, if there is preparation to conduct any interview, any report, like I said, with anybody that might be needed to explain or elaborate on certain issues of interest to the public or particular parties. The interviewer, the journalist, must ensure that the contacts are being made, the person or people involved are being contacted, questions are being asked, and adequate answers are being obtained. Satisfactory answers, because if you are not satisfied with answers and you work on those unsatisfactory answers, you may give a report that will not be accurate. So you must be sure of what you are obtaining. That is the reason cross-checking information is very important in journalism, not just journalism, every field. Once you get an information from a source, it is good to verify that information from other sources to be sure that your research findings are accurate. Because when you begin to get conflicting values or figures in your research, then you should know that something is not correct. Because if out of 5 persons you have randomly asked questions about a particular issue, situation, or person, and the 5 person gave you different answers and none correspond, then you should know that there is a big problem. So you will step up your findings and try to meet the appropriate agency or body or organization that will be able to provide you with the information that would be generally accepted. People go to agencies, parastatals, and ministry to get data for certain stories they intend to write. So if you are doing a research for any news, you need to go to any authority, anybody that, any organization, body, ministry, agency, parastatal, NGO that is in charge of providing such accurate information for you. Like we have in Nigeria, we have the National Bureau of Statistics. So they are in charge of providing statistics of a lot of aspects in Nigeria. They will be able to give you an estimated population of a particular region, particular state, and then they'll be able to give you a statistic of the level of inflation, the percentage, and then the employment rate, the unemployment rate. They'll give you the percentage of unemployment, unemployment, and other aspect. So in doing television news or in conducting, in trying to arrange or make television news, your research should be intensive. You should be able to get information that would make the report believable. So once you get the information as being quoted, because in a report, when you say according to data obtained from National Bureau of Statistics, NBS, it shows that once you mention a particular body or according to information obtained from the Nigerian Port Authority, and then you now put the story, it will make people believe that since this information is coming from an organization, a body, a ministry, agency that is saddled with the responsibility of providing such information, the audiences will never doubt. That is the reason transmitted or said, a lot of persons would not believe that. They will ask the source, who said so? Where is this information coming from? So once you mention the source, the audiences will actually believe the story. But when there is this an anonymous source, then it will be difficult to believe that. So in reporting issues of public interest that are not investigative in nature, there is no need to be anonymous, to have anonymous sources that are not known. It's only investigative reporting that sources are being protected so that they will not be attacked. Because when you are doing research for investigative reporting, you must protect your sources. So whoever told you or gave you documents that would be used to expose evildoers must not be exposed. The sources must not be exposed. So it can fall under anonymous source or sources so that their identities can be protected in that regard. So in television news research, questions must be prepared orderly. Like I said in one of the sessions, that reporters must always be sensitive when conducting research. Maybe before you conduct a kind of organized production or research, you can go into other information findings. You can be able to ask where is the place located, how many prominent people are there that can be interviewed, because there's a program, a future program or discussion program, or want to do an interview on certain issues affecting the society or community, because we have environmental reporting, health reporting, and many aspects of reportage. So you need to ask questions, do your research, and get the right people to interview. You don't just go and put your camera and start interviewing anybody, except if it is a vox pop, which you are just sampling opinion of people randomly, irrespective of their knowledge about the subject matter. That is why some vox pop, when you interview people, they will tell you they have no idea. But in certain news features or stories that should be transmitted, you must be able to identify people who are expert in the area, people who can give you the information that you need to pass to the audience. So you need to conduct your research by finding out the people that would be able to give the required information, those who are knowledgeable, who have the profundity of the subject matter. Because if you want to do anything about health, do anything about aviation, do anything about education that is sensitive or require the knowledge of experts, then you'll be looking for people who have years of experience in the area. That is your research, and then you get them. Not that you just bring anybody and put on TV just for the person to be embarrassed, you know. So you'll be able to bring people that are very sound. That can only be obtained by doing your research to know those who are competent enough to appear on TV for a given interview and for a particular program. Is it a one-on-one with the person? Is it a panel or discussion program? Is it a future story, or what type of program are you going to do? So you try to ensure that adequate research is being carried out. You do your findings, and during the research, you should know ahead, because maybe you have to travel to the headquarter is in Makodi, for instance. Makodi is the capital city of Benue State. So maybe the headquarters is in Makodi, and then you are being sent to carry out an interview or a report in Boko or Kasunala. Now, before that happens, you must do your research first. You don't just go there like that. You need to make calls, or depending on the urgency of the report or how soon the report has to be, you need to make calls. Then you need to ask questions. Then even if it is a kind of impromptu uh, um, activity that should be done, you still go there and still do your research. You go there and still ask questions. You still contact people. You still ask things for direction before you go properly into the event. You don't just go in any location, then you set your tripod and then uh, fix your camera and start doing anything. You must first acquaint yourself with the laws of the place, the rules and regulation. You need to do your research, because if you don't know anything, you need to find out, and that is research in the pre-production process. You need to find out what are the things expected to be done in this place. When people come, where are they supposed to go first? Because there are some areas that once you arrive, you must first report to a particular head or persons or group, register your presence there, and then they will attach somebody with you that will go around with you throughout your stay or the places you intend to visit to cover the event, so that you won't be harmed, because there are certain places that once they see strangers, you become a target. So you cannot just go to any place and then just start walking. It is through the process of research that you will be able to know what is expected to be done when you go there to do the work properly, to do the proper production. If you have any production you want to do, maybe you want to do a story, a documentary about the life of a particular ethnic group or the condition uh, of rural dwellers in a particular area, or some places that are suffering from certain environmental hazards. So you want to do a documentary and then maybe or do a kind of a story. There are some stories that they are developing stories. You do from this stage to that until are completed. So by the time you go there, you know that the story is going to take a long time, maybe 5 days to do it. You need to first go there to get adequate information. You need to go there to do the research, like I'm saying about the importance of research in news production. So you need to go there and get adequate information. You need to ask questions. You need to consult the right people and ask what is expected to be done. Then there are some places that they will tell you you don't need to take a camera there. You don't take pictures. So you can just do a kind of sketch. That is the reason there are certain news story or documentaries that when you watch, you see still photograph, you see sketch work. Not that the real images wouldn't have been obtained, but because such places you are not supposed to take photograph of certain objects, so you just have to sketch as they are and then put them on screen for people to see and understand what you are actually talking about. So it is paramount, it is essential, it is very important. No reporter should just assume, like I've been saying, reporters are people who should never assume that everything is fine, that yes, it will be okay. You must be sure. You should be always curious to understand things. Anything you don't understand, you ask questions to be cleared so that you won't put your media organization, like the three piece media limited, you won't put it in a state of disrepute, because people look up to you. They want you to be professional in your journalism. The training that is being organized here by Three Piece Media is to enhance efficiency, professionalism. So, for professionalism to be enhanced, to be facilitated, to be promoted, is by getting the required training. That is the reason this training is being organized, to ensure that you get the best that will make you professional and reporters, so that you will try your best not to be caught in the web of errors, making avoidable errors. There are some errors that are avoidable, but because of negligence and ignorance, people do certain errors. Like I talked about the difference between ignorance and negligence in one of our sessions. So reporters are not supposed to be ignorant and are not supposed to neglect any action. They should not be found wanting in the web of negligence or ignorance. They must try as at all times to be sure of what they are doing. Where they don't understand, they should meet those who can give them the information that is required, so that they will not make any error that will affect Creepy's Media Limited. Specialized reporting. Specialized reporting. What is specialized reporting? Specialized reporting, also known as beat reporting, is the type of reporting where a reporter specializes in a particular area of reportage. There are various areas of reportage, of reporting, where reporters do report. For those of you that watch news on TV consistently, you will understand what specialized reporting is. See on channels TV, NTA, AIT, Arise News, and the rest, you see the specialized reporter giving reports in various aspects: economy, education, aviation, politics, health, legal, judiciary, and so on. So the specialized reporting is when a reporter specializes in a particular area of reportage. Now, just like I said about the importance of research in television and news, it is extremely important that a specialized reporter should be hungry for knowledge. You cannot be a specialized reporter and not know what is expected of you. For instance, reporting aviation. I was able to do some instructional materials for this session as well, which after this session, it will be uploaded on the WhatsApp group as I have done in some of the sessions we had. Aviation, this is an instructional material that I did on aviation. Now, if a reporter is to specialize on aviation, reporting aviation. Once you specialize on this, your area of specialty becomes aviation. Then you need to know a lot about aviation. That is the reason you see this here. I'm able to do some level. By the time I upload this on the platform, you'll be able to see the details. Now, this is an aircraft that operates in an airport. And there are a lot of things associated with aviation. The moment you decide that you want to specialize in reporting aviation, then you need to have an in-depth knowledge of aviation in Nigeria and the entire world. You see, the reason research is very important. You will have to go deep into the history of aviation in Nigeria. You begin to study that, you'll be able to know names of people that controlled the agency that is in charge of regulating airports or aircraft in Nigeria or airport operations in Nigeria. Then you know those that held the agency, the nature of aircraft that occurred in Nigeria, aircraft involved in such air crashes. You know the steps that were taken, what a panel of inquiry that was set up, what findings did they get in a particular year? Because I remember the Sosoliso air crash and the Dana and so on. A couple of air crashes had occurred in Nigeria. So in specializing in any area of reportage, a specialized reporter must be extremely knowledgeable. You need to know history of the area that you are specializing in. If you are specializing in aviation, you need to know the history of aviation in Nigeria, the history of aviation in Nigeria, so that when you are doing certain reports about that, you will be able to make reference, to make reference that the incident that happened today once happened in a particular year, although the casualties that year weren't as bad as there are this year. So in specialized reporting, you make comparative analysis. You try to compare past events with the present events to bring to the audiences if an improvement is being made in that aspect of your area of reportage, or issues or matters are getting worse. So what measures should be taken? Because if in the past air crashes were numerous and now the crashes have reduced, then it means that there is an improvement in aviation safety, or maybe aviation carefulness or technology has improved the nature of aircraft being produced and other aspects of operation, and maybe pilots and other people in charge of handling the aircraft or maintenance are being improved on their training. You have the aeronautic engineers who are in charge of aircraft repairs. You have aerodynamic engineers, those in charge of objects that flies, objects that moves in the air. And then you have structural engineers in charge of the structural designs of aircraft and space shuttles, among others. So these are terminologies used in aviation. You must understand what a tarmac is. You must understand what a runway is. The hangar is a place where aircrafts are being parked. So you won't say the garage. So there are terminologies for every profession. Like in aviation, you have terminologies that will be used. You cannot just say the aircraft was parked in the garage or the aircraft was parked in a building. It doesn't sound well. That is the reason journalists have to be curious. You have to be eager to know, because journalism provides reporters the avenue to learn a lot of things that ordinarily they wouldn't have learned, because you need to be versatile because you're going to report from various areas. So you know that the airport has terms that must be used when you are giving a report. You know, you talk about the runway. The runway, the aircraft takes through the runway before it now flies and moves. So you need to talk about the runway, things like air traffic control, the control tower, the pilot, the co-pilot, the fuselage, which is the body of an aircraft, the cockpit, the place where the pilot stays and control the plane. Then you have the wings, you have the landing gear, that is the tires of a plane called landing gear. So you have the ailerons, that is so it's on the wing of the plane that makes it to rotate. You have the rudder at the tail of the plane that changes the position of the plane left or right. And then you have the elevator that helps the plane to accelerate during takeoff and to land during landing. So there are key terms that must be used when you are giving a report. If there is any aviation or aircraft accident and you are giving a report, you need to use the exact term. How will you know the exact term? By conducting the research. How did I know this thing? Because I also did my research. That is the importance of research. It exposes you to knowledge. It makes you to know certain things that ordinarily you wouldn't have known. So research is an integral part of television journalism and any type of journalism that an individual wants to be found in. So it is very important that these things must be known in that aspect, so that you will be reporting professionally. You can't be reporting and be saying the place where the pilot stays and control the plane, which is the cockpit. Simple. Instead of trying to, once you know these terms, it will even reduce the volume of what should be written or said, the length of what should be said, because you already know the exact words to use to make the reportage accurate and short than trying to explain what one word covers, because some explanation can be found, some 3 or 4 sentences explanation can be found in just one word. That is why if you want to explain one word, you will see almost 4 sentences to explain that one word. So if you were to say that without that word, it will make the writing or the speech longer. So that is the importance of that. And in we have the judiciary. For those who will be reporting the judiciary things from the judicial angle aspect, the legal reportage, there are also terms that must be used. In fact, the instructional material that I have done is just this is just few. You have to do more research to get others. I just did this to give you practical illustrations of how this thing operates. So you need to dig deep, do more research to get more about this. This is a courtroom, a courtroom. Now, when you are reporting, there are certain terms that has to be used in a judicial or legal reporting. You must ensure that the exact terminology are being used. The exact terminologies are being used. You have the judge, the witness box. You can't say he stood in one box and was no. It has the box has the name. The stand has the name, and then it has a court clerk, and then you have the plaintiff, the defendant. Who is the plaintiff? The person that initiates a legal action against somebody, that takes someone to court. Who is the defendant? The person who is being taken to court. Now, in doing your report, you cannot say Mr. Johnson uh, is the person that took Mr. Mark to court, and Mr. Mark has been taken to court by Mr. Johnson, and he's going to defend himself. So you can use plaintiff and defendant to make the report more professional and even short than trying to say a lot of things to mean plenty or defendant. And then you also have other words like affirmation, content of court. Then you have evidence. You have a lot of other words that are in the legal profession or reporting judiciary. So once you How will you know these things? I wouldn't have known them if I didn't do the research that I've done to know these things. I had to go deep to understand because if I'm going to write anything in any area, I need to report those things that will be professional. It makes your writing or speech more matured and professional. People who listen to what you're saying, people who watch what you're saying, will believe that this person has the in-depth knowledge or the profundity about the subject matter. So I would still put this on the platform too because I gave some words that you can still dig deep to find their meaning in the area of judiciary and legal reporting as well. Words like defamation are all here, injunction, leave of court, oath, affidavit, and all that. So they will be uploaded on the platform to be used. Now, this is health or medical reporting, that is health reporting, and these are the terms. This is the terminology for reporting health. I just used a few to illustrate. See, doctors. There are different types of doctors. Now, if you want to write anything concerning health, you're specializing in reporting health, reporting medicine, reporting in that kind of area, then you need to know certain things. You need to do your research to know the right terms to use when putting your report. You must do that to know the right terms. What terms would be used to qualify this person, to qualify this thing? What is a theater? Cannot say he was taken to a place that doctors operate patients, or he was taken to a place that people are operated here. He was taken to the theater for operation, for an operation. It's very simple. So those terms must be understood. Like you have the auto otolaryngologist here, the doctor of the ear. Now, if you are given a report about the ear, who is in charge of treating issues that affect the ears, nose, and the throat, then you must understand that this is the word that should be used to qualify such a doctor. You cannot say it is a doctor that treats the ear. I want to go and see the doctor that treats the ear. I want to go and see a doctor that treats the nose diseases or issues that affect the nose. So that is why these terms are essential in specialized reporting. Not just specialized reporting, it's also essential for you to know, but it's more essential for reporters because journalists are also educators. That is the educating the masses or the public, the audience is part of the responsibility of journalism, of media. To talk about informing, educating, and entertaining. So you cannot educate people when you don't know anything. You only educate people what you know. You can't give what you don't have. That is the reason that most persons are not properly trained because they are trained by people who don't know much. That's why some schools have teachers that don't know much. So they give students based on what they know. And that is why certain schools produce students that are not able to do certain things the way they should do professionally or otherwise because they were tutored by teachers that lack the experience required to train a student to come out and be the best they ought to become. And then you see ophthalmologist, ophthalmologist. You see the name there, ophthalmologist. Ophthalmologist is the eye doctor. So if you specialize in reporting health, and then you are reporting that uh, somebody had an accident and had a problem on the left eye or right eye, and was taken to the hospital and being attended to by, being attended to by an eye doctor or a doctor that treats the eye. You see, it doesn't sound professional. You write a report like that, or you say something like that, it doesn't sound professional. Then you must know that it is an ophthalmologist or attended by an ophthalmologist. That is an eye doctor. So it makes the report more professional. Anybody reading the report will understand, oh, so this is the name for a doctor that treats patients that have eye issues. So you must do the research. I'm going to upload these two. I have the list. Oh, there are many. This was just illustration, so you need to still do your research to get more and more. There are many things to learn in the media, so much. So this is just building the platform, exposing you to the frontier of knowledge through this. So you see the dentists, you see the dermatologists, you see the cardiologists, those that deal with issues of the heart. And then you have the hematologists, those that the doctors that attend to diseases of the blood, diseases that affect the blood and the system. And then you have a phobia. There are issues about phobia. What is phobia? Fear of things. Now you can say someone is suffering from aquaphobia, someone who fears water. So there are a lot of phobias that I also drafted here. So I will still be uploading these on the WhatsApp group for you to go through and see different type of phobias. And then you see all that the fear of what is called what. So if somebody is suffering from height, it's acrophobia. You cannot just say, "Ah, this person has fears height." So there are ways that to shorten the way sentences are being made, and it gives you the professional display of your speech. It makes you talk more professionally. So there are a lot that has to do with specialized reporting. We have education is there, people who report education. We have agriculture, we have maritime and all that. So there are terms that are used. So once, even if you are not going to be specialized, because there are some reporters that are trained to cover any event, they don't have the fixed event. The media houses have a way of operation. At times they have people who are kept permanently or assigned permanently to be reporting any issue that has to do with health. Anything that has to do with health, they are the ones that are called to go and cover. That is their own beat, to be reporting steadily for the station. There are some that report sports. Anything about sports, they do that. So as they are specializing in sport reporting, they have their research about sport, football, tennis, basketball, and all that. So they know the history of certain players. They know the countries that won a particular trophy and all that. So they do their research and have the information needed to make a report or do comparative report. There are some reports that are comparative. What is happening today and what happened years back? Is there an improvement or things are getting worse? If things are getting worse, what should be done to make things better? If there's an improvement, who made the improvement possible? And what can be done not to make the situation to go back to the way it was and make it rather to move forward? So the report can be able to develop strategies that will enhance efficiency and make things to be better than they are. So specialized reporting can be that aspect. So the media organization can decide to keep people, reporters, to be specialized in particular bit. That is the reason you see people, some persons have been specialized as specialized reporter in aviation for 10 years. Some reporters are specialized reporters in judiciary for 16 years and so on. So once there's any case in the Federal High Court, they are there. Customary court, they are there for their media organization. Once it is appeal court, you see them there. Supreme Court, they are there. Oh, well, so they are conversant with the nature of reportage. in the aspect of judiciary or legal reporting. So they know everything that has to do with that. They know the terms, they know what will be done here that will be wrong, they know what to say, and they even start behaving as if they studied law. There's a level in which, as a reporter, you specialize in a particular area. You will start behaving as if you studied a course in your area of specialization in reporting, in your specialized reporting area. Because once you get used to a particular field that you have reported for many years, you will be exposed to certain things that when you start talking about them, people will feel that you actually studied a course that related to that area. So specialized reporting exposes journalists to a lot of information. It makes them to 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 be equipped with the knowledge that is required to explore a lot of things. Because once you do your research adequately, you'll be able to ask questions. You can't ask questions when you have not done your research adequately. You need to know these things, because if you are asking a professional in a particular area, for instance, you're talking to somebody who is a medical doctor, maybe the person is a surgeon, somebody who has been in the profession for a very long time. And for you to conduct an interview in that area, you need to do your research to know certain, maybe you are talking about cardiovascular diseases of the heart, and then you are talking to a cardiologist. Now, for you to ask a cardiologist questions, you must be able to do your research to know the type of heart diseases, what are the things that cause heart diseases, so that when you are asking the question, you will be making reference to certain things, and then you do your research to know one or two persons that suffered from particular cardiovascular diseases, and how they died, what actually made them to die the way they died. Was it because the cardiologist was not professional in their duty, in his or her duty, or it was due to poor health facilities, or it was due to the environment, or maybe poor regulatory, poor monitoring of regulatory bodies or agencies. So when you ask questions, you need to dig deep to get adequate information to ask questions. If you're not empowered knowledge wise, what will you ask the interviewee? You will not, what will you ask? You will not be able to ask anything that will be tangible. You won't be asked questions that will elicit information that will be of impact to the audience from the interviewee. Rather, you make the interview boring. So you must be deeply rooted. And for that to happen, you need to do research. You see how research flows from the beginning to the end. You need to conduct your research to be able to know these things. If a particular doctor was sentenced because of certain medical malpractice or malpractices, you should be able to know what led to such malpractices, so that it will serve as a deterrent to others who might want to indulge in certain things. The reason people do a lot of things that they do today is because they feel they can do and go away. So when there are instances of people who have been dealt with, it will make others to be afraid and be careful in doing that. So it will make them to be, so this thing, if I do it, I might be sentenced, I might be taken to court, sued to court, and once I'm sued, I'm finished. Once I'm prosecuted, my life is gone. So a lot of people have thought like that, and refrain from certain decisions they took, or certain actions they wanted to take, to execute. So by bringing the histories of people who did certain wrong, and then who were penalized, punished, it will make others to be careful. So you must do your research to get all these things, and then to bring the information, so that whatever program you are conducting, the person you are interviewing, will be able to give you answers that will help the audience. So specialized reporting is extremely important in television journalism and every type of journalism. And research too, like I've repeatedly say, is very important in television journalism. So it is important that all these be known and be taken into cognizance so that the needful will be done at all times. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Tefa. Thank you. You've done justice to the subject matter. I think we just have to take questions. I can see the
All right.
comments, people
Yeah,
saying
yeah.
that they've learned something new today. I'm impressed. I also, from this other end, have been learning. Of course, life is a process of learning and relearning. Okay, so we'll take questions
All right.
from. Okay. All right. We have questions from Precious Duro. Can you see it?
Okay. Yes, I can see it. Are we
Okay.
supposed to make a full television report? As in, I had always thought that we were just going to give details of news in video format and send it. Then it will be reported by a physical reporter. Okay. Thank you very much for the question. Um, Maybe you didn't pay attention in the previous sessions that were held because I made mention of um, producing a bulletin. I talked about a television stations or media organization have a bulletin, especially the broadcast media. So the bulletin for 9 o'clock news contains all the news stories and everything to be done for that news, maybe 7 o'clock news. So if you're talking about making a full television report, what kind of full television report? You need to do your story. Like I said, some stories last for 1 minute and some seconds, some 2 minutes, some three, and then no matter how the report is lengthy, you need to edit. You need to edit because the news bulletin has a time frame, has a duration. If it's 1 hour or 45 minutes, because there are adverts that are being inserted in that. So you don't do a full television report except if what you are doing is a documentary that may be lengthy. If not, the report has to be brief. You need to get the most important points in your report, edit, and then you forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Precious Duro, I'm sure you heard. So we'll take the next question
You're welcome.
from Muhammad Sani.
We
Okay,
had a
sorry,
panel
that's not.
forum in my community, and
Sorry, this is
okay,
the right question.
Mr. Tefa, what Mr. Tefa, what if the report was an impromptu to the guest speaker or an urgent attention for the reporter to report news? Thank you, Sunny, for the question. You see, the importance uh, of reporting is to enlighten and educate people. So a journalist is supposed to be equipped to be ready at all times. Now, if it is an impromptu event and you are asked to go there and act, which may not give you time to go and do any research, then you ask questions within your knowledge, within your powers, because it is an impromptu event. Something just happened and you are asked, go and interview people, go and cover, go and do this, go and ask that. But if you have been practicing journalism for a long time and you are used to certain areas, you will be able to have 1 or 2 questions to ask that will be meaningful, except for beginners who might have not had experience in on-field reporting that might find certain things. If not, what happened that is new? Is it in health? Is it in sport? Is it accident that have not been happening? That is impronto? Is he interviewing somebody who is promoted that you have not reported? What that is new to the person? So reporters have faced certain things, the same situation, but different people. You understand? So it will be easy to ask questions because an experience that such a reporter has gone through for years. So the person will be able, especially for beginners that may have little difficulty in getting certain things, but with time, you will be rooted, deeply rooted in that, and you'll be able to do things more flexibly and professionally.
Thank you very much. Let's take the
Hello,
last
sir.
question now from Samuel.
Yes. Hello, sir. What's the relationship between journalism and investigation? Not research now, real life investigation into matters. All right. Thank you, Samuel. I've seen your question. Journalism, as you see, covers every aspect of reporting, whether you are reporting online, because we have online journalism, we have television journalism, we have radio journalism, we have newspaper or print journalism, and all that. So all these things talk about any platform that is used for reporting falls under journalism. So investigation is just an aspect, that is, you can do your investigation outside journalism. Investigation is an aspect, it is just part of, that's why you see we have investigative journalism, because even that is just a component, just an aspect of journalism, investigative journalism, which deals with going deep to find certain things. Now, when the word investigation is being done, it means something different from research, because investigation, it means there is something that is not right, and then you are trying to find out the truth about that. You are investigating somebody. Investigation means there is a suspect, there is something that is not right that you have suspected, and then you are conducting an investigation to unravel the truth, to bring out the truth from what you don't believe in or something that is happening that you don't trust. But research is finding out information, finding out, you're doing a research to find out what you don't know. So you can't call research investigation in the real terms, though some contexts they can be used interchangeably. We have different contexts that can be used, but in journalism, it will not be appropriate to use investigation to mean research or research to mean investigation. Each of these words must be used independently, and what they mean should be appropriately expressed. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Tefa, once again. And thank you to everyone
Welcome.
who joined in today. I think we have to call it a night now until Saturday. Thank you, everyone. Have a good night, Mr. Tefa.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Bye.